What's going on, everyone? Brian from Trail Theory here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about clothes and the layering system. So we've been talking about this for a little while, but I thought maybe to show and tell a little bit of what I usually do on the trail might help some people if you have some questions about what you might want to do on the trail as far as your clothing goes. So I think we would start in 3 different categories. We've got a summer kind of thing where it's really hot, and then spring and fall can kind of be tied into each other, and then if you were going to go out during the winter time. So one thing I always do is I always bring a hat. Depends on what I'm feeling, but this one's been on a few trips for me. You can tell by the sweat stains on the brim, but nice hat, I like that. Any hat does the trick. You just want to keep the sun out of your face, right? Sometimes I do wear shorts on the trail. I really like these Patagonia ones. I think these are the Tech 9s, I want to say. But anything will work that's not cotton. You want something that's synthetic poly blend, something that will dry quick. These ones had a little lining in it. You didn't have to like wear underwear with them. I wasn't a huge fan of that, so I cut it out because I really liked the shorts still. But yeah, those are great. Nice, easy shorts to use. You can go swim in them if you really wanted to. And then for the top, I still always wear a long sleeve shirt. I don't do short sleeve a whole lot anymore just because of sun protection. If you were gonna do a short sleeve shirt and not do like a sun hoodie like this, definitely recommend getting like a little bit of a suntan lotion spray can or lotion or something like that. Sun protection is super important. You wanna make sure that you're keeping the sun off your neck, off your arms, and off your face. So something like that would definitely work. If you didn't wanna go with a long sleeve, and a sun hoodie like this guy. So I really like this sun hoodie. It is really lightweight, super breathable. You could go with a couple different other options too. You know, Viore makes the Strato Tee hoodie now, which is great. If you didn't want to do a hoodie and you wanted to do a short sleeve or long sleeve, they do make that as well. But again, like I just like keeping that sun off my neck. And when it does get a breeze, it kind of forces through and like goes all the way down. It's kind of like a nice little air conditioning unit in there, which is nice. So that would be something that I would usually wear other than like obviously socks, your boots, some underwear, that kind of thing. That's what I would wear if it was really hot out. If it's in the spring or the fall, I would definitely wear some pants. You know, we've used the Piranha Zion stretch pants for a long time. I've used these a bunch, used them on Rainier as my soft shell pant. They're a little heavy. I do like kind of a lightweight jogger now. The North Face ones that I'm wearing now, these Wanderer 2.0s, these are awesome, super lightweight, really flexible, and they dry really fast. We've used the Terrabond pants before too, which are really great from Patagonia. A little bit more form-fitting, but again, they're super lightweight. So if it is a little hotter during the day and a little colder at night, you can keep the same pair of pants on, which is nice. And that's kind of the whole point of like the layering system to begin with, because you start out with, you know, your regular shirt and, you know, you wear that during the day. And if it does get cold out, you can go with something like this Arc'teryx. This is like a 3/4 zip base layer, right? The only problem with that is you do have to like take it on and off like a shirt. So if you didn't want to do something like that, you could do a full zip. That's just nice, it's easier to put on. But something like this when you get to camp, it's great because it's a little colder. You want to chill out by the fire or something like that, you kind of lounge a little bit. So that's nice to have. Again, the layering system is all about being able to put things on and take things off as the temperature changes or as your body temperature changes. You could be hiking in the morning, it's 30 degrees, you have all these layers on. Well, once you get your blood going, you're kind of sweating a little bit, you're working on, you end up getting a little hotter, so you wanna like strip clothes off. So you wanna be able to do that as easy as you can, that way you're not wasting a ton of time doing all that. If we were gonna go to a winter kind of thing and you're backpacking in the wintertime, that's when jackets are really handy, obviously. And even if you're not going in the wintertime, I know that we go in the spring and the fall, and if it gets below like 50 degrees, I always kind of bring a puffy. So I've had this North Face one for like 7 years now. And I will say a lot of backpacking stuff can be expensive, right? The clothes can be super expensive. You don't have to go to the high-end kind of brands, but I will say when you buy quality, they do last. I've had to kind of replace a little patch here and there and stuff like that on this, but it's been great for 7 years. So, high quality stuff does kind of last. But this is a thermoball synthetic puffy. Packs down really, really nice. Something I would put on if it was a lot colder in the 40s, 30s or 20s or something like that, while we were at camp. And I wouldn't really bust anything like this guy out. This is a down jacket. This is a down parka from Black Diamond. This is very warm. We talked a little bit about this when we did the episode on my Rainier trip. This is what I would wear if you are doing some mountaineering stuff, or if you were gonna be, backpacking and it's like negative degrees, or you're like in the teens. That's when I would maybe put this on. Not even when you're backpacking though, mainly for when you're kind of just at camp, when you're not moving around and kind of getting the sweat going. And then of course, you've got your hard shell jackets, your rain jackets. This Black Diamond is the one that I'm using now. It's pretty lightweight for all the things that it has. It's got the ventilation, which is really nice. And it doesn't wet through, which is great. You could go with something a little bit more ultralight. I've used this a bunch on different trips too. This is the Outdoor Research Helium 2. It's very simple. It's super lightweight, but because it's lightweight, it doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. So the only pocket on it is in the front. There's no ventilation, that kind of thing. So, there's pros and cons with everything. Obviously, when you go to things that have some bells and whistles and you've got the venting and you've got the pockets on the side, it's gonna weigh more. You've got zippers and that kind of thing. So just keep in mind for that. And then for the really, really cold nights, you can go with some base layers. So you could do a base layer for your shirt, long sleeve. You can go base layers. This is a Smart Wool base layer for pants. I use these on a couple of our trips where it was like in the 20s. Nice to put on for when you go to sleep. And speaking of sleep, I do kind of like to bring pajamas. So I always have something to put on after the long day is done and it's time to retreat in your tent. And then again, for cold nights, it's always nice to have a beanie. I'm usually bringing a beanie if it's, again, gonna hit the 40s. Maybe some lightweight gloves. If you're going in the wintertime, maybe go with a little bit heavier set. And then for the really cold nights, I haven't busted these out in a long time actually. These are my synthetic booties. We've talked about these a couple times on the podcast before, but these are great for sleeping in. Put some socks on, put these guys on, and your feet will be nice and toasty. So that's kind of it, other than maybe wearing like a buff or something like that. The buff could be useful for really anything. If you weren't gonna do a sun hoodie, you could do a buff in the summertime, wet this thing down, get it on your neck. And that kind of is something that will cool you off too. You can use as a headband, sweatband, or if it's cold, you can put it up over your face and sleep with it on. So just a lot of options, which is I think the nice part, right? Again, you don't have to spend an arm and a leg for all this stuff. You can go with some more affordable pieces. But again, I've always kind of thought when you spend the money first, you kind of get pieces that last. And I've had a lot of these things for a long time. So if you have any questions, shoot your comments down below. Please feel free to shoot us an email if you have any questions. Email's trail3pod@gmail.com. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time.